Speaking of money, the FBI is now investigating a cyber attack on JPMorgan Chase and at least 4 other major U.S. banks. Investigators believe Russian hackers may have been the source of this security breach. Experts say the sophistication of this attack points to, quote, nation-state capabilities, not the actions of common criminals. Hackers accessed the bank's networks and then stole people's account information and other sensitive data. That, according to the New York Times. Now, those 3 words, nation-state capabilities, begs the question, was Moscow directly involved? Also yesterday, or today rather, there are new reports of Russian tanks rolling into eastern Ukraine as the fighting continues to escalate. And more missiles were also shot from inside Russia towards Ukraine today. In Kiev, President Petro Poroshenko is meeting with his Security Council to determine how to respond to the Russian invasion. Also, the State Department has now accused Moscow of a thinly veiled invasion.
Russia is sending its young men into Ukraine, but are not telling them where they're going or telling their parents what they're doing.
Osaki also added that there have been new reports of heavy fighting and shelling near the airport in Donetsk. Now in New York, the sister of Boston Marathon bombing suspect is now out on bail after turning herself in on charges of aggravated harassment. Alina Tsarnaev is accused of making a bomb threat to another woman. The 24-year-old is expected to appear in a Manhattan criminal court later in September. Her brother, of course, Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, is awaiting trial in November. He faces terrorism charges for his role in the Boston Marathon bombings last year. Now in Nebraska, staff members of the television show Cops are mourning today following the death of a co-worker shot and killed while filming the show. 38-year-old Bryce Dion died when he followed Omaha police into an ongoing robbery at a fast food restaurant. Police opened fire on the suspect after he pulled his weapon, but that weapon turned out to be an air gun, not a real firearm. But police say they had no choice but to shoot. One of the rounds fired by police went through the producer's bulletproof vest. He later died.
Bryce has been with us for 7 years, and honestly, he really is one of our best. This is a hard time for us. He's a very talented guy.
Well, this is the first time a crew member has been killed while taping the long-running series. And today in Western Virginia, the search continues for a missing pilot. The plane crashed during a standard maintenance mission. The F-15 went down in the mountains about 135 miles northwest of Richmond, Virginia. The plane was based in Massachusetts. The pilot had reported an in-flight emergency and then lost radio contact. It's unclear if he ejected from the jet in time. His identity has not yet been released. And massive 20-foot swells are drawing thrill seekers to the California coast. Surfers are taking advantage of the storm waves spawned by Hurricane Irene. Look at that right there. Mercy. Lifeguards are urging inexperienced swimmers to stay out of the water. Of course, they were busy making rescues all day yesterday. The storm continues to weaken about 800 miles west of Mexico's Pacific coast.